Hi, I'm Joanne Cary. Welcome back to the Embodied Soul podcast, a multidimensional space intended to support you in mastering, living, being, and thriving as the embodied soul you are. This week, I am back from Canada, a beautiful trip with family and friends, and I'm back at the beach. And I wanted to talk a bit about what's happening in September and the opportunity we have to really quantum leap. If we're willing to look at what is no longer serving us, if we're willing to let things go as we move forward. And I wanted to talk about some things that I've been called to do as I was back in Canada and as I reflect on the energies and what the guides are bringing through. So if you're interested in joining me on this conversation, please pull up a comfy chair, invite in your soul, and be open to receive exactly what you need to live, be, and thrive as the embodied soul you are. So this month is crazy, and this is September 2025, the beginning of it, and the energies right now for this month with the planetary alignments, with the energetics, the portals that are happening, we have the full moon lunar eclipse tomorrow. We have the 999 completion gate portal on September 9th. We have the equinox and the partial solar eclipse on the 21st and 22nd of the month, along with a lot of the outer planets in retrograde around us, including Saturn, who's trying to close off chapters, making sure that we've learned our lessons. And here's the thing, Saturn doesn't let you move forward if you haven't learned your lessons. So do not be surprised this month if you are quote unquote tested, if you are asked to see where you maybe just haven't been willing to release some stuff, some thoughts, some actions, some behaviors, some life circumstances that you've been called to, that you know you've been called to, but you've been resisting. This month is gonna rattle us. And that's not a bad thing. This is why I'm talking about it, so that you can be prepared for it. Because it's not about you have to go into a dark night of the soul or anything. This is, be aware that you are being called to step more fully into the embodied soul you are, to be more of your higher self, your divine self embodied in the physical vessel. And in order to do that, we have to let go of what is no longer serving us. And so here we are. So when I was back in Canada, I was called back to listen to and do the preparatory work that was part of that call to the Own Your Value and Worth event. It was a channeled event I held back March 15th, I think it was, obviously 6 months ago, and it was held on the full lunar eclipse in Virgo. It was one of the most transformational events, both the preparatory work for me that started releasing stuff right away, right through the full event, and then continuing in the weeks after. It just ignited one thing after another of transformation, release, integration, and it really hasn't stopped over the past 6 months. And so I was a bit surprised to have them guide me back to it. And so after I got over the resistance of not wanting to do it, and I certainly encourage anybody who joined me on the call to go back and listen to it. And if you are interested, it is just as potent now, and I'm offering 55% off. So I think it's $24.75 right now, and I'll include the link in the show notes or in the notes below here. So if you want to embark on this journey, there's beautiful preparatory questions, and then you do those before you get into the actual transmission and channeled message and light language event. So as I went back and I started to reflect on some of the questions, and again, one of the things that came up for me, and your value and worth is something that so many of us struggle, where we are just not feeling enough. We don't think we're deserving. We're dimming our light. We're not using our voices. All of this reflecting of where we just are still not owning our true value, our true worth. And one of the things that came up for me was around comparison. Two things, comparison and judgment, I'll talk about. And this is something that I've worked on a lot, and I'm very aware of it, and I'm very aware of being judgmental, and have released so many layers of the onion on this. But what's come up for me, as well as a number of people in my closer community, is around this whole idea, and it's very prevalent as we awaken up. A lot of people in my community have been in corporate jobs for years, they've just retired, and they're moving into a different chapter in their lives, and they're now fully awake, and they're being called to do something more, and they're trying to figure out what that is. And what we're surrounded by a lot right now is build a business, become an entrepreneur, and then have $10,000 months, $20,000 months. And for me, that doesn't feel resonant. Yet every time I get on social media and previous mentors or these advertisements come up in my feed, I always then circle back to questioning, should I be trying to grow my business more? Should I be doing this other thing? Should I be wanting something that I don't want? Because here's the thing that I've found is that the question that comes back when I say, no, I'm pretty happy with what I'm doing. My life, I love wearing my flip-flops, I love going to the beach, I love having enough to do everything that I want to do, but I have no desire to grow my business into these 5-figure, 6-figure a month a business. And then I have to ask myself, well, why is it that I don't want to? And for me, it's just not true. It's not, I've already had my career. This I'm doing because it's fun and it's exciting and I feel like I'm helping and I'm contributing to others' awakening. I don't need that. And yet over and over again, the mentors that I've had and the people I hear online right now, they say things like, well, that's just a belief that you have. You're just limiting yourself. You just have an issue with your value, that you don't think you're worth $10,000 a month or $20,000 a month. And then you believe them. And you think, well, maybe I am tricking myself. Maybe I am deceiving myself. And that whole trust with myself is a whole other shift that I've had over the past month or so, that is all intricately woven and intertwined with what needs to release and let go during this month, during this eclipse season. And so I ask you, as you listen to me and as I share the different stories, to just see what resonates with you. This may be resonant for you, it may not. It may be resonant for you at another point in time. So just take what resonates, leave the rest. So for me, I know that that's not what I'm being called to do. But then I also see others in my community where they're caught up to say, well, I need to be a coach. You know, I'm supposed to start a job. What is it that I can do in order to provide a service, in order to fulfill my mission? And we always, the first thing we're sort of taught is that our mission is a job, when in fact our mission can be love. Our mission can be just showing up every day. Our mission can be building a community. Our mission can just simply be being in our joy, doing whatever brings us and lights us up in any now moment. And so when I had to look at, well, I didn't have to, when I was looking at through the reflection questions on owning your value and worth, that whole idea of comparison, not feeling good enough, thinking that I need to be more, do more, have more, when that's not what my heart is calling me for, was something that I'm setting the intention to release as I move through these portals, as I go through these events. And if that relates to you, I recommend that you put it on your intention, that you put it on your altar, that you offer it to be eclipsed, to be taken away during the eclipse season, to be closed off during the 999 portal if you're coming to the event that I'm holding on the 9th. That's part of the Harmonic Ascension series. And then I also, as I was going through the reflection questions, it asked about, well, where might you be judging yourself or others? And why are you judging them? What is the thought that is coming up? What are you benefiting or needing in order to be judging them? Because remember, judgment is fear-based. If you are judging someone else at whatever level, there is a level of fear that's running in your system, and that is something that is holding you back from the next level of frequency that is looking to come through. So anywhere you are judging somebody or judging yourself, judging your body, judging what you eat, judging your health, anywhere you're judging the world, the politics, the people, your neighbor, your kids, wherever you're judging, that is fear. And if you are reflecting on it, if it's coming up for you, then that's something that's looking to go. For me, I was thinking, oh no, I'm not judging anybody. And then shortly after, I realized, oh my goodness, I'm judging an old mentor I had. And then I had to ask, well, why am I judging them? Why do I feel the need to judge someone else's path? Why do I think that I know better for somebody else? We've covered this in another episode. That again, it reflects back to where I still have judgment in my system, where I may be judging my own path, where I may be judging my body, where I may be judging. And even though I might say, well, I feel that old mentor of mine is being disingenuous, that there's inconsistency in what they say or a dissonance in what they say. Again, not mine to criticize, not mine to judge, not my path. Who am I to know what someone else is going through and what is true for them a year ago, 6 months ago, 2 days ago, 5 minutes ago? It's not mine. And so again, that's going on my intention of what to release and to really ask, where is this showing up in my life, in my cells, in my body, in my dreams, where I am still being shown right now where there is judgment, where there is that fear? Because it can be so subtle now, right? Most people who are listening this are not brand new opening to their ascension path, their awakening. And if you are, know that you are going to be on an accelerated ascension path, because you're not listening to me if you are just opening up and are not really a gung-ho, a good student, are really intending to be here to accelerate quickly. And then the other story I want to share, because I think it may be coming up for other people here as well, that was so prevalent for me, and I had a huge emotional shift right before I went to Canada. And this was around, I realized that I didn't trust myself. And that was a huge breakthrough. It wasn't something that I had picked up consciously, but it actually showed itself through a number of dream sequences. It showed up through just where I thought that I made decisions that harmed others, where I maybe said something that I shouldn't have said that caused some other reaction that I didn't want. And again, it wasn't even from this life experience. But this is where I talk about, we don't need to go digging into our Akashic records. We don't need to go digging into our past lives, because we will get it handed to us on a silver platter if we're open to receive it. If something is looking to go this month, or in any month going forward, any week, any moment, it is going to present itself to you in some way that brings your awareness to it. So as long as you've set the intention to become aware of where things are coming forth that need to be released, that need to be seen, that need to be acknowledged, you will see them. You do not need to go any further than the present moment that you're sitting in order to know exactly what needs to be worked on, thought, seen, acknowledged, released, changed, in order to move forward. So, with all of that said, we have so many opportunities right now, in this month in particular. This is a powerful, energetic month to release things within our lives that we're experiencing right now, to clear up karmic and ancestral patterns that we've brought with us into this lifetime that are resonating in our body, in our field, in our minds, in order to be released. And here's the thing, guys, like here's what has become so apparent to me. It does not need to take a long time to release things. What it has shown to me is as soon as you become aware and you become an active observer, witness to the thing that you become aware of, and you name it, and I think it's like Rumpelstiltskin, the fairy tale Rumpelstiltskin, that once you know his name, the spell breaks. That's kind of the image they gave me, and I apologize if that's not the fairy tale, but that's what came to mind. But the instant we can recognize the situation, the pattern, that little aha moment, that is enough to shift it. You see it, you name it for what it is, and then you allow it to go. And you may ask, is there anything else that I need to do in order to release this pattern, this distortion, or to heal this wound now? And then listen to see if you're provided with any other guidance to release. Because I've just seen things like, by the time I actually go to share it with somebody, it's already gone. It's already gone from my system. I can hardly remember what it was that shifted because they are leaving so quickly. And then that is just being filled in by new higher frequency energies, of which case you're just then no longer open to that level of frequency. And so if it is going to come back around on a spiral, because we're on this spiral ascension path, it's going to be something much different than what we've been used to playing over and 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 over again. So this, as you enter this month, I encourage anyone who hasn't taken my Own Your Value and Worth class, get it now, 55% off, just a $24.75 investment. Just the reflection exercise is so worth it. And then a beautiful hour-long process and message to really support you in releasing anything that's stopping you from standing in your own value and worth. Whether you choose to do that or not, definitely take time now. Preferably when you hear this, take some time to reflect on what needs to go. Where are you comparing yourself to others? Where are you judging yourself or others? Where maybe are you not trusting yourself? All of these things pointing towards owning your value and worth. Because this month, we are being asked to step into our value and worth more and more as a divine, magnificent being of light who is unique, who is here to be you, be fully you, so that you can be part of the change that we are being called to, that you will be part of the light that is actively, consciously choosing to support the alignment to the new world, right? Because remember, everything is happening now. Every possibility is already here, and it's about aligning our vibrational frequency to that level of frequency, and then bringing along everybody else in the collective to get up to that level where we can all see it. And this doesn't have to be everyone, right? This is each of us in our own way holding the highest frequency that we can, which then contributes to aligning. And you can, individually, we can experience our own Shambhala, we can experience our own new world before other people. And this is part of the whole splitting that you hear about, where there's splitting of realities, because at some point people will be in a different vibrational frequency than you. And so they may not be actively in your life anymore. And remember that anything that is removed from your life or is lost from your life or is released from your life is something that you do not need. It is something that is not in alignment with where you're going. And you never lose something that you need. So you may have a great love. You may have something that you just so love to do. Know that that's not going to go, because that is aligned with where you're going. All right, I think with that, I'm going to wrap up this episode. I hope you take the time to do some reflections, and I wish you all the best success at allowing the release, giving yourself the permission and intention to release what's not serving you so that you can quantum leap into a new level of you by the end of the month as you fully move towards the equinox and into the end of this year of completion. I'm sending you so much love. And if you've enjoyed this episode of Embodied Soul, please like it, share it, turn on notifications, and subscribe to my channel. It really does help get the energy and messages out to those who need it. And I look forward to seeing you on next week's episode of Embodied Soul.